Hey guys, today we're going to have some fun because we're going to build a brand new Mega Tesla Cybertruck kit. Not Lego, can't call it Lego, it's Mega. But anyways, big kit. It comes in a huge box. It's 3,283 parts. A big instruction manual, 3/4 of an inch thick, 300 pages, over 775 steps. So I've got some time lapse set up. I'll be doing an unboxing of this thing. I'll show you some of the parts. I'll do some commentary, compare it to Lego. Of course, I have lots of Lego, so I know what I'm doing. So I'm curious to see how this thing is going to be put together compared to what Lego typically does. But anyways, I've looked at the instructions. It looks fairly straightforward, and I got my mood on because I got my Cybertruck hat. Yes, they gave these away at the Cybertruck reveal event. Let's dive into the video and start building. Okay, so let's take a look at the box. It is large and it has lots and lots of parts in here, so we're just gonna open this up. Now I did do a live stream and showed you guys some of the parts that are in this thing, and I like how Tesla is owning the fact that, you know, they broke the windows, so there's some graphics on the boxes. So other than the instructions, you get this little box in here that has some of the parts, like the, it actually has windows, believe it or not. So they give you a full set of clear windows, and then if you want, you can put the ones in that have, hopefully you can see that, broken glass, so you can interchange that. In here, there's some other parts. I'm not going to open that quite yet. Large windshield. 3 large boxes. Each one's labeled 1, 2, and 3. And one thing that I liked about this kit is the fact that they're not using little plastic clear baggies, which are not good for the environment. That's what Lego does. These guys are using FSC certified. Forest Stewardship Council. For the most part, the quality is actually really quite good, but there are some differences with Lego. For example, you see these little white dots on the piece? Okay, so that I suspect is where the little sprues are broken off during the molding process. Lego obviously doesn't have that. You can't use the Lego on top of the pins because it's not Lego, but they do put the Mega blocks in the corners. So otherwise, I mean, the colors are good, the fitment's perfect. Quality-wise, not quite there. It's about 95%, but I'll take it because this kit's only $250 US. I know $250 is a lot, but I'll be honest with you, compared to what Lego offers in a kit of this size, you're looking at anywhere from, depending on the kit and the part count, anywhere from $250 to $450 in a lot of cases. So you are potentially saving some money. This is, by the way, a collector's kit. I don't know if it's limited edition or not. So we'll just start with this one. Maybe I'll put this box. Look at the beauty. I mean, hopefully you guys can see that. Look at the beautiful graphics on this thing. So it has a rolling tonneau cover that opens and closes. You have a tailgate that drops down, a telescoping ramp built in. You have storage in the lower trunk that opens up, adjustable suspension, wheels that steer in the front, a front trunk, doors that fully open, fully detailed interior. By the way, I should mention the instructions. It says the Mega Signature Collection is home to highly collectible premium construction sets. Always authentic, this is where we fuse iconic brands with epic building challenges. Hopefully in the future, we might see some more stuff from these guys. They give you this really cool tool, and I've never seen this, that specialized tool to pull parts apart. Lego has their own version, but I've never seen one quite this sophisticated. I'm curious to see what it's all about. So box number 1, you gotta open it up, and we've got some parts to build here. Unlike Adam Savage, I'm not the type of person that will knoll my parts, which is the process of laying out all the parts and nicely, neatly organized. I do have OCD, but it's not that bad. My wife typically likes to help with me building these kits because she's the one that actually likes to do the knolling part. She will unpack everything and just kind of lay it all out for me, which is good. Okay, there's little rings. This is unlike some Lego stuff I've seen before. You know, I'm doing this on my dining room table, and because of the marbled pattern on here, it's not the ideal building location to be doing this stuff because, you know, sometimes you lose parts because they kind of blend in with the top. But for me, it's part of the hunt. Part of the fun of building Lego or these types of kits is the hunting for parts. I think it prolongs the experience, and that's what's kind of fun. A lot of people like to blow through these, but I'm not that person. I like to cherish the building process. One thing that I observed in this kit compared to what I'm used to building with Lego, and when I say Lego, I'm talking about their Technic series, because that's when they build things like Bugattis and Ferraris, Lamborghinis, that type of thing, is that they almost exclusively use Lego Technic pieces. And when I say Technic pieces, these are, you know, bricks like this that have holes. They do use a lot of pins shafts, gears, that kind of thing. And while they're challenging to build and they're really interesting to build, at the end of the day, in some ways, they have kind of a passing resemblance because they're just not, you just don't get the quality detail out of this. One thing that I've noticed with this particular kit is that they're using mostly standard building techniques, mostly standard bricks with just a tiny bit of Technic type of stuff where it counts. So I think the net effect with this is that I think this kit lends itself a little better to building the Cybertruck because it's flat parts. You don't have any compound curves, which is obviously very difficult to do with Lego. So I keep saying Lego. Listen, when I say Lego, I'm talking generic. For those of you who don't know, why are these guys doing something that's Lego compatible? Lego patents ran out several years ago. So anybody can make Lego compatible kits. Now, Lego did go on a legal bender there a number of years ago, and they lost all those battles. So yeah, the world is wide open now to make these types of kits that are compatible. All right, let's start the build process because otherwise I'm going to prattle on here forever. Is this a... It's hard to say. You know, this is part of the problem with, with these types of instructions. It's really hard to determine colors because what looks black in here is like a gray. I'm just being thrown off because of the light. This one's black. That one's gray. Which is which? Yeah. Watch out for similar colors. A little addendum. This is their idea of an addendum. Quick status update. After 3 bags, I'm going to open 4 and 5 at this point. I have what looks to be about 6 or 7 pieces left over. Might be for something else. Everything is symmetrical, so basically it's just follow the instructions. And you know what, just out of curiosity, I'm going to grab my Cybertruck and we're going to do a width, because this is the width of the truck. I'm going to do a comparison here. Hold on. All right, so this is the RC. And that's about as wide here. Let me just set up the... Let's do this. Yeah, it's built to the same scale. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Progress on the body. And the nice thing about these is, hopefully you guys can see that, printed parts. No stickers in this kit. Printed parts. That's the license plate, by the way. It says Cybertruck. Wanted to pause in the building process to show you the mechanism for the rear suspension. And as you push down on this, there's 2 arms that drop down. There they are, right there on the bottom. These parts on the bottom, by the way, are color coordinated pieces. They're just there for stability while you're building. They end up coming off. Anyways, it's pretty neat. And then you'll push on this part right here on the back, and that'll release it, and then it'll put the suspension back. I've just finished all 198 steps for box number 1. We're just starting to see the first bits of what is going to be the stainless steel body. And on first inspection, you'd think they're painted, but they're not. They're actually molded this way. Now, normally, if you saw pieces like that, you'd think it's a flaw, but I think in this case, it actually works quite well to its effect. Let me grab the camera here and get a little closer and show you some of the features. Here's the rear of the model. You can see there's going to be a cover here that closes. This is the button to release the suspension, so you'll click that down, it'll raise the truck up, press on that, and this should return once you get some weight under it. On this side here, there is a little charging wand on a rubber band that pulls off. And then the tonneau cover is going to go in here, and what's really cool is that there's actually a cavity down in here, and it drops all the way down inside. So when you roll it, kind of goes in there. You can see this nice stainless steel effect is working quite well. Nice details on the bumper here with the Cybertruck. That's a printed piece, no stickers. Eventually this will be all clad inside pieces, so you can start seeing some of the offset pieces in here where the seats are going to go, and some interesting bits in here that move around. I think those are for the doors. Anyway, so far so good. It's gone together quite easily, if a little bit repetitive because it is symmetrical. But otherwise, so far it's a satisfying, fun build. We'll set that aside and move on to box number 2. Let's build some more, shall we? Day 2. Still on box 2, and I'm at step 281, and I thought I'd just pause here for a moment and give you a quick overview of what I've built so far. So let me grab the camera, we'll come in nice and close and you can see all the really neat details. At this point, I've completed a good portion of the front of the car, and you can see here's the ratchet mechanism. There's also some interesting angles here to be able to get the front of the Cybertruck. It's involving some 45-degree pieces. Same thing with the fender flares that are coming out. Look at the pedals, isn't that nice? So they actually, they're hinged, so you can position them whichever way you'd like. And we just started seeing a little bit of the hint of the back seat here. So there's a seat here, a middle seat, and then 2 captain's chairs. According to the instructions, when I get to it, I'll show you some more details. These are the wheels, by the way, look at that. So there are 6 seats in the kit, and no 2 of them are alike. I tell you, this is incredible. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Let me just show you one of the rear seats, captain's chairs, and hopefully you guys can see some of the building techniques that are involved in here, because this is crazy. They even have the curvature on the back. Look at that. The headrests. Even the printed pattern that is the custom printed pattern that's on the Cybertruck seats. You probably didn't even know that, did you? As I was mentioning, the captain's chairs in the front are even different. These ones have white backs. And these are even a completely different design. The bolsters are different. And yes, it does have that printed pattern there. So there's the middle seat in the front. And yes, it folds down and there is a Tesla printed coffee mug. Now, my experience of building these seats basically solidifies my assumption, and I think it's an educated one, that whoever designed this kit had intimate contact with either the vehicle, photographs, or the Tesla engineers, maybe all 3. I think you probably know where I'm going with this video review, but I encourage you stay to the end so I can give you my final thoughts. The kit does have some custom parts, namely the telescoping ramp. 2 pieces of plastic like that with some slots. You slide them in like this, like that, and then they slide together. Then you take this and you build the rear tailgate, which has a cavity, and this just slides in like so. It stops on those stoppers like that, and then the other part slides out. Now the whole thing gets sandwiched with the back plate. There we go. So you assemble it into the tailgate assembly. You got a little handle right here. You just pull out, and you've got a ramp. It's brilliant. It's really well thought out. I'm in the process of building the doors, and I wanted to show you a very interesting technique that they're using. So this is the outside, so you got some flat panels. This is representative of the armrest inside the door. And then they have this lower piece here, which involves some double-sided studs. So studs on this side, and then there's some studs in the middle to get the flat panel like that. So they're using some interesting techniques of stud reversal. So you put that together like that, so you get a smooth surface on this side, despite the fact that there's no studs. And then there's another part of the door which is super complicated to build, and it's got these arms on here, and they click in like so. And this serves two purposes. So this is the hinge mechanism on this side. So these go in some of the studs that are in the frame of the car. And on the other side, once you get that, then you start getting the unusual angle. So if you can see that, it's built like that. So some very interesting building techniques, stuff that I've seen before. It's just interesting to see how these guys have actually done this process on this door. And yeah, pretty impressive so far. You know, I'm at the part of these instructions where you have to build the suspension parts, front and rear. And I've been staring at this for like an hour now. And something just popped in my head. There's a missed opportunity here. Because, you know, the front has some movement, right? You can turn the wheels, right? Didn't Elon say that the Cybertruck was going to have four-wheel steering? I'm going to modify it. Well, I pulled it off. Here's the rear. And the wheels actually turn. And I didn't need any extra parts. I was just able to reconfigure what they gave me, and I made it work. So I'm going to have a unique truck with four-wheel steering. Well, I finally finished the build. It took me about 12 hours over the course of 3 days. I wanted to take my time, didn't want to rush it because I really wanted to absorb what was in this kit. And I have to say, I'm coming away extremely impressed. I have a lot of Lego, right? You can see here behind me. I love Technic kits. Those are very technical. This build was challenging. And I mean that in the best way possible because all things considered, there's not a lot of traditional Technic type stuff. If you built those kits, you know what I'm talking about. I think the Cybertruck in its shape lends itself extremely well to building at this scale. And this scale, I have to say, is super impressive. They got all of the details right as best you can, considering, you know, the type of bricks and the building techniques that you're going to use. I can't even begin to talk about all of the features they were able to slam into this. I mean, things like suspension, right? It goes up. A hood that opens. And there's a little lever in here that you press so you can drop the suspension down. The playability of this kit, you know, despite the fact that, you know, maybe the steering wheel doesn't turn when you turn the front wheels, and yes, the wheels do turn, and I did make a modification. I got rear wheel steering going. Yes, the Cybertruck is going to have four-wheel steering. So anyways, I was able to do that with minimal modifications. All the 4 doors open. I will mention that the doors are not the traditional hinge. Like, they didn't just use 2 parts that put together like that. They actually used a scissor mechanism, which I thought was very clever. So it allows for the doors to open realistically. And the other thing too is in the kit, they're using these gray pins, which are just slightly oversized. And what it does is that it gives you a little bit of resistance. So the doors don't flop around. Like, once you put them in position, they just stay there. So I thought that was a very clever use of some interesting parts. Now, the top roof does come off. So if you open the front doors, you can just reach your hand inside and you can take the glass panel off the top. More for display purposes. I'm not suggesting that Tesla's going to put, a removable roof. As I mentioned earlier in the construction, the seats are super impressive. Again, both middle seats in the rear and the back fold down to reveal cup holders. They even put a little Tesla branded mug in the front, which is kind of fun. Now, if we take a look around the rear, this is where things get really interesting. Not only does the tailgate drop down, you also have the telescoping ramp and the tonneau cover. This just kind of blew my mind. It folds up inside the truck. There's actually a cavity inside where it folds down inside. It doesn't go all the way. Now, in the rear of the truck, you also have a charging wand. So if you want to put, a Cyberquad in the back, you can build one of those, of course. In the bottom, there's also the hidden compartment. And of course, I like the fact that Tesla's owning the fact that they smashed the windows, because there's Franz's sledgehammer. And there's also a steel ball in there, and they click in, and you can just kind of keep them in there. It's kind of good for a little laugh. Like I said, I can't even begin to show you all of the details of this thing. Things like the dash on the truck is actually marble, just like the prototype was. Well, marble finish, I should say. It wasn't really marble, it was more of a paper type of thing. And it's not even a sticker, it's actually molded into the plastic, so they did a great job with that. They give you 3 choices of screens. Now, do I have any criticisms about this? Yeah, but they're really small. I know a lot of you are purists about Lego. I am myself, but I will tell you right now, you need to set that aside, because this kit is so well done and so well engineered and thought out. Like, I don't know who designed this. They did an exemplary job of designing this truck. So whoever did this, bravo. Listen, if you're into bricks and you're a Tesla owner, no self-respecting Tesla owner should be without this kit. You need to go and buy it right now. Yeah, it's $250, but if you like this kind of thing, I think you'll come away extremely impressed like I did. I'm super happy with this. I cannot recommend it enough. So 2 thumbs up from me. And yeah, I don't know what else. I'm thinking about some other improvements maybe that I can do to it. But so far, I mean, I got rear wheel steering. Maybe I'll write a little article. I'll put it up on the forum and I'll link into the video. So if you guys want to see what the modifications are in order to achieve this for yourself. I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. I love this thing. It's awesome. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.